Hey, what is up, spiritual hooligan? When you apply an enlightened perspective to your life, you will find that suddenly you're free, you are at peace, all the stress that you had melts away, and you go into a flowing state. And when you're there, you can make the hard decisions. You can face the things in your life that you are trying to move forward. You can say no to people. You're able to do things that are restorative and regenerative to you. When you're in a survival framework or a survival context, you'll avoid or you'll subvert, you'll hide things, or maybe you'll manipulate, and all of that eventually blows up in your face. So today we're going to talk about some enlightened perspectives. In fact, this is video number 8 in a series about enlightened perspectives. My name is Matthew Ferry, and I am bringing you your daily enlightenment. It's your moment to pause, to slow down, and to get connected to enlightened perspectives. I want to help you to quiet your mind and restore your peace. And your peace gets restored when you connect with the idea that all is well. When you know through and through that all is well, you feel at peace and everything starts to work in your favor. And I help people to get there by implementing the rapid enlightenment process in their life, which is 4 things. It's 1, seeing the unconscious reflexes of the drunk monkey. 2, removing the motivation to think, called the hidden motives to survive. 3, embracing enlightened perspectives. And then 4, recontextualizing your life so that you know that all is well. Today we're talking about number 3, which is the embracing of enlightened perspectives. I'm going to tell you some enlightened perspectives today. These are perspectives that presume that all is well. So they have a presupposition, and the presupposition is that all is well in the world. Secondarily, the other thing that we've done with these enlightened perspectives is we've put them to a muscle test. We've tested to see, do they strengthen or weaken the body when you say them? Does that cause your body to go strong, or does that cause your body to go weak? And what we found is things that make you go strong put the body into a state of rest. You're at ease. You're not in a protective state, and then your mind stops talking. Really powerful. These statements make you go strong. Number 1, honoring and accepting people as they are is one of the greatest contributions you can make to humanity. Honoring and accepting people exactly as they are is one of the greatest contributions that you can make to humanity. Every person that we have ever tested that on, that makes their body go strong. So we put their arm out, they make the statement, honoring and accepting people as they are is one of the greatest contributions I can make to humanity. We push on their arm, it's strong as a board. When we say something else like, trying to make a contribution to humanity, or I have to do something, or I have to take an action to make a contribution to humanity, or I need to go feed the hungry, or I need to go and work with this charity to make a contribution to humanity. When we do anything other than you raising your consciousness, because if we honor and accept the people in our life, what we're doing is we're expanding our consciousness. And when you expand your consciousness, you essentially see more and you accept what you see. That's what it means to raise your consciousness. So honoring and accepting makes you go strong. Anything about taking action or doing, or I have to change, or I have to fix the world, or I have to make a difference in the world, or any of that stuff, it all makes you go weak. So, shockingly, right? Shockingly. But I will say it in this way. You raising your own conscious awareness is the greatest contribution you can make to humanity. And here's the good news. You're already doing that by watching or listening to the Daily Enlightenment. You're into it, right? And the Daily Enlightenment's not your first rodeo. It's not like, this is the thing. You're just on that path. You're interested in this. You have a volition that pulls you to raise your consciousness. And I want you to know that you raising your consciousness, seeing more, like becoming aware of more, and then practicing accepting what you see, that's what raising your consciousness is. You doing that is the greatest contribution you can make to humanity. No action necessary. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to change anything. You just need to keep doing what you're doing. And you are profoundly and positively impacting humanity. And if we test that, keep following your volition to raise your own consciousness, that will test strong. Following my volition to raise consciousness is one of the greatest contributions that I can make to humanity. That tests strong. When I test you, so come to one of my events, come to Epic Life Live, and when we test on your arm, you say this: my existence alone is a contribution to the whole of mankind. It tests strong on you. Now, I know you're saying, Matthew, you don't know me. I'm just listening to Daily Enlightenment, or I'm just watching the Daily Enlightenment, and I just want you to know that's bullshit. I do know you, because I know who is attracted to this message, and I know how repelling this message is to the person who is greedy and they're trying to make things happen and they want things for themselves. And what am I going to right? That person who is in a aggro state, they're not working on themselves, they're working on trying to change the world so that they can feel better. That person is not attracted to this message at all. I know who I'm talking to. And I'm asking you to trust me on this. I know who I'm talking to. You, just your existence on the planet, is a contribution to the whole of mankind. Come to one of my events, we'll put it to the test. Or learn to muscle test with me. Come do one of our muscle testing training schools. Number 2, enlightenment is the recognition that the source of life for you is the source of life for everyone and everything. This tests strong. Enlightenment is a place. That tests weak. Enlightenment is something you achieve. That tests weak. Enlightenment is a context. That tests strong. Enlightenment is the recognition that the source of life for you is the source of life for everyone and everything. That tests strong. Begin to adopt the idea that the source of life for you is the source of life for everyone and everything, and all of a sudden, you are more kind, gentle, appreciative, understanding, more loving, more open. You stop making things wrong all the time. You stop trying to protect yourself from all the things in the world that aren't attacking you. Number 3, we are all the same thing expressing itself with infinite variety. This tests strong. I am you and you are me, and everything I see and everything I experience and everything you see and everything you experience is you. You are the infinite potential manifesting into everything that you're experiencing. In the base state, I'm not a scientist, so don't quote me on this, okay? But it's something like this. I believe, trying to go back to my science now, I believe that there are 17 up quarks, down quarks, or maybe there's 12 or something like that. Up quarks, down quarks, the electron, the proton, right? These are the fundamental building blocks of reality as we know them in this moment. And what we know is that when there is empty space, when there is a complete vacuum, what we are able to mathematically and then visually show is how a complete vacuum is then manifesting into all of this stuff. And what is the stuff it's manifesting into? You, me, both of us, the whole world, everything. We are all the same thing expressing itself with infinite variety. And if that's the case, and you are embracing that, you get to do this. It's all okay. I'm an infinite being. You can say that. I'm an infinite being. This is number 4, we are all one thing, like a grove of trees. We are all spawned from the same source. Just a variation on a successful theme. You're just a variation on a successful theme, so am I. We're just a variation. And what's happening is what we are is organizing into these human things, and they're coming together, and it's growing and becoming and interacting with the environment and all of this stuff, and then and then it dies and it goes back into a base state, and then it comes back together again and does it all over again, and it's evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving. And what is evolution? Evolution is just a longer time scale of self-organization, right? So you have this very fast self-organization. We might call this at the atomic state, where it's coming together and creating. And then we have, over time, these iterations. And that's what you are. That's what I am. We're just a variation on a very successful theme. But we are the same thing. You and I are the same thing. Everything we see is the same thing. And when you connect with that idea, wow, your mind goes quiet. You stop resisting. You stop needing so much. You open yourself up to everything that is coming your way. It may not happen today, but you just keep tuning in to these ideas, and you will be changed forever. The survival part of you that no longer serves you and no longer fits with what you are is falling away. It's a predecessor, an old successful iteration of humanity back here. And you're still mired with some of it. But together, we're sort of peeling off that old stuff. The old skin of survival is peeling off of you, and the new version of you is coming through. And that new version is the enlightened version of you. That version of you that can recognize and connect that the source of life for you is the source of life for everyone and everything. These are enlightened perspectives, my friends. And here's the thing you need to know. Nothing that I said today was true, but nothing that I said today was false. And you believe things about life and about people and about the world that you can't prove. I can't prove either. Nobody can prove, actually. They're just beliefs that you have. And you're doing the best you can to survive in a non-survival situation, which is ludicrous. And so what you want is to thrive. And therefore, what there is to do is to reject and release the survival frameworks and embrace the enlightened thriving frameworks. That's the game that we're playing together, okay? So do me a favor, leave me a comment. I want to know what you're thinking. What am I making you think here? What are you seeing? What's the insight that you're having? Put it in the comments, please. My name is Matthew Ferry, author of Quiet Mind, Epic Life. And I would love it if you would like this video, if you would share it with the people in your life that you thought this would make a difference with, and if you would leave me a comment. Those three things tell these big platforms this is something worth spreading. You can also subscribe to my channel. I put out a new daily enlightenment every single day. At least I'm doing that for my 51st year on the planet. We're 221 days into that process now. And you could also join us over in the Spiritual Hooligans Facebook group. Thank you so much for tuning in to this daily enlightenment.